And welcome back to the Buckle Up Podcast universe with Brandon Rush and Mama Rush. If this is your first time joining in, I am actor Brandon Rush. I've been in 81 TV shows and movies, and some of the biggest movies ever created in the last 15 years. Sorry, my friend is calling, and one of our guests is checking in. I launched the Buckle Up Podcast universe with my mother, who is a pharmaceutical specialist in sales. So I launched this Buckle Up podcast with her last April 9th, 2025. We have 18.8 million viewers and listeners in 76 countries, excuse me, 72 countries. And actually, no, I'm sorry, I was wrong. It was 76 countries and 882 cities around the world. Let me double check that to make sure I gave you all the right numbers because sometimes I mess it up. But we're doing well, and that's cities around the world. But give me 1 second to double check that, which I like to make sure that I'm accurate and everything I say. Yes, so we are in 76, 700. I can't talk. Let's start it over again. Hello, it's your boy, actor Brandon Rush, of the Buckle Up Podcast universe with my mom, Mama Rush, and we are in 76 countries and 882 cities around the world. So thank you so much for tuning in. If it's your first time coming to the show, we have guests from all different walks of life. See your CEOs, entrepreneurs, small businesses, teachers, military, veterans, doctors, lawyers. What else have I not hit on there? Actors, actresses, producers. I've had casting directors and casting associates on here as well from all around the world, both that I've met personally, that I know either in my career or that I met in my travels, and some people that I haven't met in person yet, but we happen to meet through mutual friends. So it's been exciting to get to know these people and for them to come here and share their advice about different tips about either if they went to college, how they went about going to college, or how they started out their business. I find that it's always helpful to have people in these different walks of life that can help the next generation, which is why our podcast is so educational because you can learn a lot from the guests that we've had on here. And if there's a guest that you think might be great for the show, feel free to reach out. Or if you yourself might be a great guest for the show, feel free to reach out to me. You can DM me directly on Instagram at Brandon Rush with two H's. That's BrandonRushh, or at the Buckle Up Podcast Instagram, which is BuckleUpPodcast. So you can reach us there as well. So you're welcome to reach out to me. Today we have Melissa Mirren on, who is a voiceover actress who has done some incredible work. I've actually been doing a lot of her challenges on the podcast. I did some of them on the podcast, which I posted before. But I've been doing them online. I absolutely love them because voiceover is such an amazing talent to do and a career path that I always thought was amazing. So we're going to have Melissa on here to tell her story. And I'm going to get ready to let her and Mama Rush on after I pause it. Resume right now. Let's see here. How do I let Melissa in? Boom. All righty. Give me 1 second.
Turn the seat back.
Melissa, how are you doing?
Oh, good. How are you guys?
Doing great. Doing great. Oh, you did it from the voiceover booth today.
Yeah. So I decided to do it. I look kind of, though, when I saw myself, I look like a just black background and then there's just my face.
No, you know what? You're okay because my mom uses her photo and it's the same thing as you can see. Like my mom's photo. My mom's on here.
Hey there, Melissa. How are you?
Oh, I am wonderful. How are you?
Great. Welcome to the Buckle Up Podcast universe.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh,
Yeah.
we are too.
We are too with Melissa. Hold on a second to make sure I'm going to make sure I'm double recording everything just to be on the safe side sometimes. Welcome to the Buckle Up Podcast universe with Brandon Rush and
Mama Rush.
And today we have
Melissa Mirren.
I like it. You even sound like a voiceover artist on here. I absolutely love it. Melissa, today is all about you. As I was telling the audience before, we have 18.8 million viewers and listeners in 76 countries and 882 cities around the world. So we're excited for you to tell about your voiceover journey and your story today.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Congratulations. That's exciting.
Hey, you got to do what you can, but we're excited too. I think you're our 137th episode today, I believe, if my memory serves me correct.
All right.
Since April of last year.
Yeah,
So we're moving right along.
I
absolutely.
love that you guys do this together. That's so wonderful. How cool
Thank
Oh,
is
thank
you.
you. No, thank you, Melissa. Yeah, we're quite the team, man. My mom is absolutely awesome. I couldn't ask for a better co-host to help me out with everything. She asks the best questions, I think.
yeah.
All right. Well, Melissa, so let's hear about your story. Let's tell us from the beginning. How about that? Where are you
Okay.
originally from, and how did
So,
you turn to get here?
okay. So where am I from? I grew up in Texas,
Okay.
outside of Dallas, but I actually am in north of Seattle. So
Okay.
that's pretty much where I spent half of my childhood until now.
Okay.
Um, but I guess my voiceover story goes back. I didn't actually start voice acting until probably about like 10 years ago.
Okay.
And so I've been pretty much doing this kind of thing, voices and things like that since I was little.
All right.
So, and probably you too, your acting can probably be traced back to when you were younger, I'm sure.
Yeah, kind of, a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I was always imitating like cartoons and, doing things like that in commercials when I was younger. I used to beg my parents to, they would record me and my friend and I would pretend we were news anchors. And
Okay.
yeah, I was always Barbara Walters. Uh,
Okay.
my parents decided that's who I should be. So I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't know who she was really at the time necessarily, but I do now, obviously. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was fun. So I was always Barbara Walters.
Okay.
And my friends and I would write scripts, and then we would have these commercial jingles, and we get my baby brother in there and his, diapers and do a diaper commercial. And so I've been doing these kinds of things since I was younger.
Okay.
Um, but like I said, every little thing kind of has led up to voice acting.
Okay.
I didn't actually, well, when I was in middle school, I decided to do theater, and I had
Oh,
just
really?
new school. Yeah, I just had moved to a new school and knew no one from out of state, from Texas.
Yeah.
Um, I freaked out.
Okay.
I realized, oh my gosh, acting in front of people I don't know, it was so scary. So I
Mhm.
got out of drama that first day. So I did it one time and then I was out and I didn't do anything until college.
Okay. Where'd you go to college?
So Western Washington University. So
Okay.
and yeah, so it wasn't something I majored in necessarily, but I did some classes and then I did after college some I did musical, and so that was like a little bit of it. But I've always been able to kind of change my voice and do different things and like I said, imitate stuff. And it wasn't until probably like 12 years ago, maybe, I met
Okay.
Kirby Morrow, who, rest in peace, Kirby. He passed away, unfortunately.
Oh man.
But he was on like all kinds of things. He was in a Barbie type movies and Lego Ninjago,
Okay.
animes, all kinds of things. And so I
Oh
met
wow.
him on vacation and he was there and then my family was there and we started talking about it, and that's when I went, oh my goodness, there's a job that you can do this.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Hmm.
Oh, have you ever thought about voice acting as a career? Like, did you know that?
You asked me personally?
Yeah, like
I would have liked to, but I feel like it was such a gatekeeper community that I never knew how to get the proper channels to get there.
yeah.
Mm. And Brandon has always been one that doesn't mind being in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So as a little boy, he loved being in front of the camera. And so I think that was his calling, or is his calling. But this
Yeah.
voiceover thing is really fascinated him as well.
I've
Go
always
ahead,
loved it.
keep
Yeah.
on talking.
Continue.
Yeah, keep
Yeah,
on talking.
absolutely, Melissa.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's such a fun career. And I didn't really know that it was a job. I never really thought about it. And
Hmm.
if you start to think about it, there's voices everywhere from like the airport. I'm a voice in the airport.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the person on the loudspeaker,
Oh,
telling you to
wow.
leave your luggage or like watch your luggage and don't leave your car in this zone. And
Okay.
yeah,
Hear that right
like,
quick while we're doing it. Let me hear what it comes through on at the airport right quick.
oh gosh, I can't even remember. This was probably like 10 years ago or 9 years ago when I
Uh-huh.
recorded it. Um, Welcome to the Bellingham International Airport. And so I'll change it a little bit. I think I had it lower at the time.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
But it's
But
You're
Oh,
awesome, man. You're good. You're good.
that's
Yeah, we're loving
cool.
it.
That's cool. Go ahead.
Yeah. Normally, so I when I was doing my commercial stuff, a lot of times I don't necessarily use my natural speaking voice.
Mm-hmm.
And so even my mom, when we go there, sometimes she'll go, that doesn't sound like you.
Yeah.
Gotta change it. So I don't know if that was spot on there, but yeah, so it's like there are voices everywhere, from the airport to a museum guide. Not that I was a museum guide, but
Okay.
there's voices everywhere that you don't really think about. And so once I met him, I realized, I think I could do this.
Mhm.
I've always been able to change my voice and imitate things and do stuff. So I decided to just give it a shot and do some free things and just try it and test it out and see. And I had my phone.
Okay.
And that's what I started with, was just my phone with like pillows around me. And I started just booking little things, fun fan stuff.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
and did you start in did you go to LA to do that, or were you in Seattle, was it? Seattle?
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah. So I did it all from home, and that I still do.
Okay.
I though once I got my agent, I would go for some of the bigger commercials. I would go down to
Hmm.
Seattle and record in studios there. But
Okay.
and then hopefully at some point I'll go to LA and get hired to go there and do work. I'm ready and waiting for that moment.
Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
coming.
It's coming. It's coming. Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of it I can do from home. And so when I started doing commercials and corporate stuff.
Okay.
Because at the time, when I started 9 years ago, or actually it was more like 10 years ago, it wasn't professionally until 9 years ago.
Okay.
I couldn't really do any character stuff because most of it was out of LA
Okay.
and in studio. It
Mhm.
wasn't really until the pandemic that you could do a lot more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, although they're going back to studios again, so we'll see. But
Yeah. I
uh,
hope it.
yeah, it's really nice to have that and be at home. And so, yeah, so I started just doing free stuff, and then after a year, I realized, okay, I think I could do this, full time.
Yeah.
Well, part time, I should say. Eventually full time. Uh,
Okay.
and so, yeah, so I started auditioning, and I had a friend who worked at an agency, and it was a modeling agency, but
Oh
they
wow.
did voiceover stuff. So she let me just audition, and the second audition I did was for a Nintendo commercial, or not
Really?
character, yeah. Doing like the voice of press ZL or Z, whatever
Okay.
thing. Great job, and one of those, and I got
Yeah.
shortlisted for that. And so,
Yeah.
as my second one, so that was huge.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I didn't unfortunately get it, but that was kind of a moment where I realized, okay, I think I got this.
Yeah.
And so I started yeah, auditioning, and then I got on voices.com and booked some stuff through there, and then it just has kind of gone up from there. So it's been kind of part-time, full-time, part-time, full-time, depending on what life has thrown at me.
Okay.
My
Oh,
kid had some very serious health issues
Oh, I'm sorry.
mm,
Yeah.
ago, and so I
mm,
had to take a step back from voice acting full-time
Yeah.
to part-time.
mm-hmm.
And at that time I was doing very, very little, just the clients that I had, and I'm happy to say that they are healthy today.
Good. Good.
And as of the beginning of last year, they are good, and I started back full-time voice acting, and I'm going after more of the character stuff, which is what you'll see on socials mostly.
Yeah.
um, Even though most of my work is corporate and commercial, not everyone, it's not as fun and exciting.
I
On
understand.
social, people don't. I tried doing some of the commercial stuff, and people weren't that interested. So, but my big dream is to do more animation and video games, and I've done some video games too. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Melissa, because I was thinking when it comes to the area of voiceover, do you enjoy most commercials, animation, narrations, promos, or audiobooks? So, if you're looking at those areas, which ones really catch your fancy the most?
Well, definitely, I would say animation, video games, any kind of character work I love.
Okay.
But I also love commercials. Those are
Okay.
fun,
Mm-hmm.
fun and quick. I could
Yeah.
do something like 75 words and be, a mom and then be, a businesswoman, the next.
Mm.
So I can be multiple characters in a day for commercial stuff.
Okay.
So I would say those are my top two. The only thing that
Okay.
I don't do, at least at the moment, are audiobooks. I
Okay.
enjoy the more faster pace, shorter form
Yeah.
versus
Mm-hmm.
the long form narration. But I'm starting to kind of experiment a little bit with that and
Uh,
getting into hopefully more audio dramas and maybe audiobooks and things like that. So,
Okay.
okay.
Well, Melissa, I had a question for you.
sure.
If you could voice any, I guess two things. If you could voice any Disney character or any, I guess a Disney character or any video game character, if you have two of those, what would it be? So if there's anyone you could voice, do the voiceover of.
Oh, that's a tough one because I
I
love
know it is.
some of them. I would probably say Ariel.
Oh, nice.
Disney. I always love that movie. And so I love Ariel. I would never want to, by the way, I should say, I would never want to take a
Of
voiceover
course not. Yeah. But
Mhm.
because I look up to them. But also I love Harley Quinn
yeah.
as well. But I love Tara. She's wonderful. Tara Strong, who voices Harley.
Okay.
So that's why I say I would never want to take their
Oh,
job.
of course. Yeah.
I love the character of Harley Quinn and the
Mm.
accent and her quirkiness and yeah. So those would probably be my video game and then Disney characters that I would.
Okay, that's pretty awesome there. Yeah, I think I like your choices. By the way, I never really thought about that myself. I thought about that when you were talking. Be like, what would be
Now,
the character to
what would
do?
you do? What would you do?
So that's a good question. Actually, you know what? The Green Lantern. But John Stewart. I think John Stewart's the Black Green Lantern. So I would like to voice him. That'd be amazing for DC. And then I think the Black Panther might be a little bit too tough because you have to do the accent with that.
Okay.
Disney wise, ooh, actually, I don't even know Disney wise. That would be actually, you know what? If you give me a Sith of some type, I will do that. Or a Jedi.
Ooh, yeah.
It could be any kind of Jedi. If they want to create one, just let me be the voice of it. I'll take it.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I think a Star Wars character would be really fun to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love being different characters from, the happy, bubbly to, something more dark and creepy. I love it all. It's fun to try different things.
Mm.
Absolutely. And then another question for you, Melissa. How are you able to, let's say if you pick a character, how are you able to stay at that, I guess in that language or the voice that you speak in for that character for the duration of it? So let's just take randomly Dragon Ball Z, right?
Mhm.
If the character's playing, well, he actually sounds like that in real life too. So let me take that back. If it's a character that you don't necessarily sound like in real life, how do you go about finding what that voice is going to sound like for you personally?
Well, if are you talking about creating a character?
Yes.
Okay. So creating a character, if I have the image, I go off of that first and I kind of look and see what if there are features. Do they look tough and strong? Do they look more happy and bubbly? Do they have big teeth where you might
Yeah.
talk, differently? Or do they have like a little tiny mouth and you talk really small? Um,
Mhm.
you so you look at the picture. Sometimes though you don't have pictures,
Okay.
and so I go off character descriptions. I look at the age, so I might pitch my voice up a little higher, or if I'm a grandma, hello there. I'd have a little lower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, uh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're
That's
good. Yeah,
great.
that was
I'm just
great.
like, and I think Brandon's asking also the question: if you were to do that, grandmother, how long can you keep that speed or that pace, the duration without your voice giving out?
It depends on the type of character. Some of those more like a video game, if you're yelling or things like that, that's
Mm-hmm.
harder to sustain. But I mean, I could probably talk like a grandma all day.
Oh, okay,
I would drive my
okay,
family crazy. Um,
Yeah.
okay.
and people might look at me a little weird, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so certain characters I could probably talk like that for a while. And then
Mm-hmm.
others, I give my voice a rest.
Okay.
But I usually once I figure out what the character is going to sound like, I in my mind picture what the scenario is, what is the scene, what do they look like I
Mhm.
imagine that in my head as I'm acting.
Mhm.
Um, and usually I get like a one or two lines of a character that
Mhm.
nail that voice. And then when I go into character to do something or record, I'll say that line to that kind of like triggers me and triggers
Okay.
me into that character. And you know, it's like a little light switch.
Mhm.
And yeah, so and then I can just kind of sustain it. I do though sometimes have to, depending on the character, monitor and make sure if I have a little rasp to my voice. So
Mhm.
if the character is more smooth and doesn't have a rasp, then I have to really monitor and make sure that rasp doesn't come through. Or if I'm playing a little kid, I got to make sure that that pitch is up there. So I'm constantly monitoring.
Okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, does that answer your question?
No, it,
Yes,
it
it
definitely
does.
does.
It does.
Melissa, it's funny you said that about just changing your voice with things. Like whenever I act, this is my normal voice when I talk, I guess. But when I act, I add bass to my voice. I have a deep voice whenever I act because I make my characters all. I'm a tough guy by nature,
Yeah.
but I'm a very lighthearted person. But if like let's say someone's in danger, in my family, then I'm serious. So
Mhm.
I actually, with all my characters, I put on the serious voice and I'll put bass in my voice or talk from down here, kind of
Mhm.
like Batman almost. And I find that that works for those characters because I play a lot of military and cops and whatnot. So I always add bass to my voice. So it's amazing how you say yourself that you will switch the inflection of your voice. I take it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'll do the pitch, the all kinds of things I'll switch. Like if it's a tough military woman, you know, the cadence even of saying things. So when I look at voiceover, it's almost like musical because you can hear in a person's speech how they talk. And a military, someone in military or like police or something like that isn't going to have as much of a musical, you know, up and down rhythm. Whereas
Yeah.
if you're a cartoon character, it's going to go up and down and up and down. So, you know, it just depends. But yeah, you're right. I do the same thing. If I'm ever voicing a role like that, I lower my pitch and it just, there's certain characters that um, kind of require that or that fits better for them. So,
I agree with you. I agree with both of you. I always laugh about myself, and my friends have done this, and my professional world has also commented. They said, Carolyn, you have an uptown voice and a downtown voice. The uptown voice is more of a professional voice, and that's the setting I'm in. But if I'm with some of my girlfriends and
okay.
we're just laughing and we're having a good time. We might go out to a play or something like that, but on the side, we're in the car and I'm just falling out. They said, Carolyn, your voice has changed. And I think everybody who really has that ability will do that type of thing. I used to watch Obama. And of course, when he would be up there speaking before the United States and the world, he has this persona anyway. But when he would get down, he'd say, Hey man, what you up to? You know, he'd get down with him like that. And so I think that we tend to have that side of us in this world. And with that, how do you stay confident and unique in such a competitive environment or field?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Because you're constantly so the job is auditioning, which I'm sure
Mhm.
you totally get. And rejection is a huge part of that. So, you know, and it's not anything to keep with that confidence because there's always times where I question myself and go, "Oh my goodness, did I
Mhm.
do that right? Did I not do that right?" And I
Mhm.
get hard on myself, but I always have to remind myself that sometimes it's not necessarily you personally.
Mhm.
There's different things that they're looking for and a certain kind of voice or style. And it's not about my acting or things like that. It's about what fits that role. And so
Mhm.
I try to remind myself of that. And I'm a big positive person and all about staying positive and you know, I'll have pep talks with myself if I'm
Mhm.
getting
Oh,
down.
it's fine to talk to yourself. Mhm.
Yeah.
uh,
Okay. I don't. I do it in my head. You know, saying, "Okay, come on, you
Oh
got this."
no, I do
But
mine out loud.
I do too.
I do
me
mine
too.
out
I
I'm
loud.
an
love
out
that.
loud person.
Yep, yep. Because my brain needs to hear my voice. and it
Yeah.
can't hear it all in this head. So I will talk. And in fact, I remember an article from Dear Abby years ago, and they were talking about, because in the professional setting, and I'm a scientist, I used to talk out the process and people would listen. They said, Carolyn, you're teaching us, but I was teaching my brain as well. But it says geniuses do that. Einstein spoke out loud. He spoke to his brain. And so don't think it's off if you speak out a process, okay? But you said you speak within your head, and that's a great thing too. So I guess God has made each person differently, and that's most appreciated by me and others. Um,
Melissa, you're sorry, Mom, about to say something.
no, I was
Okay.
going to ask her about the setup in her office,
Oh
but you
yeah,
go
go
ahead and
ahead, do
ask your
that. Yeah,
question.
that's
Yeah.
go ahead.
What equipment or setup do you usually use in your office? I see your big microphone there hanging. What kind of setup do you recommend for beginners?
Well, for beginner, if you're like truly a beginner and you're not doing this professionally, you're just doing it for fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I stacked pillows on, like, I laid on the bed or was
Mm-hmm.
and then I had pillows on each side and then a pillow on top and then a blanket over my head.
Okay.
That's
What?
how that's how I started.
Uh-huh.
All just for fun things. That's not going to get you good quality or things like that. That's just like, for fun. If you want to get good quality though, you need a good microphone. You need to have it sound treated. Things aren't going to be necessarily soundproof, but
Mhm.
um, a lot of people will start with like a PVC booth with moving blankets and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, obviously the computer, you have an interface um, that hooks to your microphone. I'm just trying to think. I'm thinking of I think those are like the main things.
Okay.
But you want to have a well-treated space because you don't want to have that echo
Mhm.
or, you don't want those sounds coming in and messing up your tape, things like that. So sound is really important. You could have the most expensive microphone and the best microphone, but if you don't have a well-treated space,
Mm-hmm.
then it's going to sound terrible because it's going to pick up everything. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Melissa,
I
it's
think that's
funny.
great to know.
That is absolutely phenomenal information.
Mm-hmm.
Melissa, when you're talking about it picking up random sounds, so being on a lot of sets, I used to always, when an airplane would go by, the boom mic guy would say like, "Oh, hey, airplane, stop! We got to stop filming because the airplane's going by." And I was like, "Man, I don't really hear it, but he does." And it wasn't until the other day when I was doing one of your voiceover challenges that the microphone picked up an airplane going by outside that I couldn't even hear from inside the house, but it picked up that whole entire airplane crossing over. And I was like, man, I didn't realize that microphones were that sensitive
That,
and able to pick up those sounds.
Yeah, very sensitive. They can pick up those sounds, pick up, a lawnmower. They can pick up, um, even if I like had someone here and they um turned on the sink or something like that, I can hear that. Even the heat. It's really important. Most voice actors will turn off the heat because you can hear that in the background.
Yeah.
Kicking on and off, things like that. And also, you have to think about what you wear because it's really important that you don't wear clothes that are swishy and make noises. I
mm,
actually, I had a jacket that I was wearing, but it made a swishy noise. Um,
Yeah.
and so I couldn't, wear that. And jewelry, things like that. You can't have dangly things. Nothing that makes noise. Um, you have to watch out for too.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. The reason I laughed, Melissa, because they've told me countless times, "Hey, Brandon, we got to actually take your necklace off," because they usually tape the microphone right here on set whenever I'm acting,
Yeah.
and it picks that up. Melissa, have you had any challenges has there ever been a script or anything like that that's been very challenging for you and how you overcame that?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't know if there's been one that's been super, super challenging. I would say if it was challenging, it was more so like having to have my tone. They wanted to have my tone be very, or sorry, my pitch, my deeper register. And so and do more of the movie promo type voice. And so to overcome it, I just had to. keep at it and pay attention to my pitch, things like that,
Mhm.
and listen to the director and all of that. I think anytime you're having challenges, giving yourself that pep talk, and
Okay.
also if you can't give yourself a pep talk out loud,
Yeah.
and and you're in a session with someone,
Yeah.
then give yourself a pep talk in your head, and then also just really being open to taking direction and listening to what they have to say and being open to what they want, because it's
Okay.
my job to do deliver the voice that they want for their project. So uh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, two things I had to say. One, honestly, I play Halo a lot, and I would have thought you were the voice of Cortana by just hearing you talk now. I'm like, man, is she Cortana? Because you sound like Cortana in my head, and I play that game a lot.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because she's on my list of things to do for like a voiceover dub just for fun.
Yeah,
But
you
yeah,
got it. You
yeah,
got it. I have played that game enough to know you got that voice on pat, and all you got to do is whatever you're doing right now is perfect.
yeah. Well, thank you.
Uh, no problem. And then my second thing to ask you was this: what made you decide to do those voiceover challenges? Because I discovered them through another actress of I can't remember another actress, and then I found yours, and I absolutely love those challenges. What possessed you, or what put that in your mind to even help others? Because it's helping me too.
Yeah, well, so when I came on social media last year, I've been on it, but not for voiceover. I was
Okay.
able to do my job without needing to be on socials, but if I wanted to take that next step and that next level, I needed to put myself out there. So when I first started on socials, my goal was to leave it better than when I start, and be a positive influence and interact with people. I
Yeah.
didn't want it to just be about me and my stuff. I wanted to interact and meet people and help people, and so that's kind of why I first started
Mhm.
doing that. And so the challenges, I started doing the challenges when I first started. Started with impression challenges,
Okay.
like Super Mario's, and uh, um, what other ones did I do? I did like a Harley Quinn, and then someone had
Yeah.
to be Joker and Batman. Um, so I've started doing those just to interact with people and have fun. And then the challenges had been out there years ago, and
Okay.
they were popular for a while. And I had seen them and loved them, but I had never done them myself. And they were not doing them anymore. And so I thought, I'm going to start doing more of those challenges. And so I started in the summer doing more of them, and then they kind of took off. And yeah, so I wanted to make sure that I created something that helped people, and it helped
Yeah.
myself too, because I do the challenges myself. I don't post it, but
Yeah.
practice. And
Yeah.
so
Absolutely.
try to have a variety of different characters and emotions and genres for people to test it out. And then I want it to be a place where, you know what, I hope this helps you. It provides content for you to post on your profiles or wherever. And then it's also helpful and for practice, and it shows off your skills. So hopefully it'll help people book stuff, and maybe someone will see an audition that they did, or sorry, not an audition, a challenge they did. Uh,
Absolutely.
Maybe that'll help them book something. So I'm all about interacting, having fun with people, and helping others. I don't get anything from it myself. It's just
Yeah.
put it out there for people to have fun and enjoy. So I'll,
This is, I'm
It's amazing.
yeah, I've heard Brandon talk about that recently, and he's mentioned you so often in that. But for our 18 million viewers plus, please tell us what a challenge looks like, how you present it out there to someone, and then how long they must speak on that challenge. That's the type of thing that I want to know, and they do too.
Sure. Yeah, that is a great question. Because not everyone has seen these. So
No, I didn't.
challenges. So it started mostly with TikTok, where on TikTok you could do a duet. So basically, I create a video and I have a script up there for people to read. And then there's a duet feature, or sometimes people can download the video and edit it themselves. There's a duet feature where they can talk over my audio. So I play music in the background while the script is up there on screen for them to read, and then
Mm-hmm.
they act it out and voice that character. And then they can post it on socials or, use it wherever. So
Oh,
that's what the challenges are. I'm just trying to wait. What was the other question with part of that is how I create them?
yeah. How do you come up with the idea? Telling people, if someone wanted to start, let's just say a kid wanted to start doing a challenge, what would they need to present? What would you say to them that you wanted to hear, or what that type of thing? Just what you just said. That is what I'm asking, and you're actually explaining it nicely. I appreciate that. So if a kid, let's just say my grandson, is 12 years old, and you give him a challenge, you would start with him by saying, Mason, and then you would tell him what. So if you can explain it at that level, that would be great.
Yeah. So for the challenges, because it has to be general, not specific to a person, and I try
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that the challenges are gender neutral as well. So
Mm-hmm.
males and females can both play these characters because I want as many people to be able to do them. So at the beginning of the challenges, I explain what the challenge is, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'll give direction, sometimes I'll leave it out there. So the direction could be, this is faster paced. Um,
Mm-hmm.
or I have one coming up that you could do bring out your inner monster and, do kind of like a
Oh,
monstrous.
now I
That's,
understand.
that's a new one.
Okay. I understand now. I understand. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So, and some it might be like, and some I've actually done commercial ones too. Although those ones aren't as popular. Everyone seems to love the villains.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all of them.
Actually, you know what? Bad guys are more interesting, I
Yeah,
think.
I think so too. Playing them, I think
Yeah.
it's so opposite from who I am as a person. I'm
Mhm.
just a happy,
Mm-hmm.
bubbly kind of person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of fun to play something totally opposite and different from you, and they're very interesting. And Um, so there's so many different characters, but the villains they tend to like. So I'll write some villain type challenges, even though like my personality is, upbeat, happy, but
Yeah.
some of them are, like a vampire or, you did the vampire one.
Yeah, I did.
That was good. That was good. But yeah, there's different things, and it started at Halloween, when things really kind of picked up. Um, and so I was doing more the villains and the, more creepy kind of
Oh,
character.
wow. Well,
Absolutely.
I
Love that.
love that.
Oh, sorry. Am I about to say something? Or
No, I said love that. It makes
okay.
it makes one move out of his or her comfort zone. That's what I love about it.
Melissa, I'm going to hit you with three things. One, it's interesting about what you're saying with bad guys being more interesting. I play a mixture of characters. I started playing more characters in the gray area, which is nice. But one of the casting directors that hires me often in New York, I played a cop on a show called Blue Bloods for about 5 years. There's a role that came around, but she first almost hired me for a Batman series, the Batman Gotham series. They were going to hire me for a League of Shadows.
Oh,
I
okay.
booked the character as League of Shadows, but they ended up writing it out. So a role came around on FBI where she's like, "Hey, Brandon, you play these good guys really good, but I know that you can play a bad guy, and that would be the biggest twist that we'll put into the episode: the fact that you're actually the bad guy, but you're gonna. It was a switch of personality. So halfway through the episode, you realize that I'm actually the one that's the bad guy and the mastermind, partially behind this whole entire situation that's been happening. So it was fun to play that dynamic of those two, and I loved it. I'm like, hey, bring on more bad guys, please. I'll play them. But the second thing I wanted to ask you was, how do you deal with, let's say, with rejection? And the reason I mentioned that is two roles specifically. I booked well, actually, I didn't book it. I went out for Halo. They were doing a Halo commercial, and I was going to play. Can't remember the name of the character right now, but there's a second character, and it came down to me and this other guy, and I didn't get it. And the casting director called me and was like, "Brandon, you were like that close to getting it." And then I booked a Call of Duty commercial, which they ended up scrapping. But those are two moments that were, oh my, like this is it. life is changing. This is my time. And then it fell through. So how do you personally deal with that kind of, I'm sure you've had some close rejections in your lifetime too. Oh,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's part of acting, it's part of the job. And it is definitely the hardest part of the job. Because sometimes you question yourself and everything, and you don't always get feedback. You're lucky that you got that feedback. Sometimes you just don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You're right.
so you have no clue if you were close, if you were not, you don't know. So rejection, I being positive and kind of like I was saying earlier, just continuing to remind myself it's not necessarily me and my acting. It may be it may be just that they are looking for a certain type of voice or a certain tone that I don't physically have.
Yeah.
I can't do that. So I try to remind myself of that. And I
Mhm.
went into this knowing that there's going to be rejection. And I actually worked in sales, uh,
Okay.
worked in sales before. So, you know, I also, was like, okay, that's okay. We're going to keep moving on. And so I
Yeah.
kind of was used to that too. And I just keep moving forward. And now I've done it for so long that you know, I do an audition and then I move on
Wow.
because I'm auditioning
Well,
so much that
Yeah.
just do it and move on. And if it works out, great. There are some where they're big roles.
Yeah.
Gosh, I really hope I get this. Um, that is hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes I need a day or two to recover.
Yeah.
Usually I give myself one day to feel down, feel
Yeah.
bad. Woe is me type day. And then the next day I start fresh and I move on. I usually don't let
Yeah.
myself get too down from something because it just, it's part of it.
Yeah.
And it's the other thing I do too is that I've had, the jobs that have been scrapped too, where
Yeah.
you do something and it's going to be so cool and you're so excited for it. And then they decide, no, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
And it's such a bummer. So I even don't let myself get excited about things
Ooh.
when I book something, I'm
Yeah.
excited, but I kind of, am somewhat reserved on it until I actually see it come out. I
Ooh. Yeah.
I don't get too overly excited. I don't necessarily talk too much about it. I don't want to jinx it or anything.
Yeah.
mhm.
But I just don't want to deal with the emotions, the up and down of
Yeah.
so excited and then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It
So
Well,
definitely does happen.
I love hearing that because I always talk to Brandon. I'm going to speak to you as well, Melissa, relative to this. And I remember hearing an actor, Brad Pitt. I'll never forget when he won his Oscar. He got up on that stage and he looked at the company that rejected him the first time. This agent, and he said, "Thank you so much." He said, "Because I would not be where I am." And I don't know if I'm saying his words exactly, but he thanked them for rejecting him because now he has an Oscar because he won it from working somewhere else. So whatever God has for you is for
yeah,
you.
yeah,
And those who say no, thank you very much. That put in me something I needed to hear. And I thank you for lifting me to a higher level. So if you keep that in mind, and every time I see Brad Pitt, I think about that message. And I'd like for young people just to go back and talk with people who've been rejected and look where they are now. Not those who are losers in their mindset. They always want to go back on the past and try to correct what was true facts back then. But the winners are those who continue to look in front of them and make things better because they don't look back, they don't try to correct or think, just accept the loss and move forward. And I appreciate that and become better at who you are. And you two are young enough to keep on changing. And I'm young enough to keep on knowing that there is another way to do something. Okay. So I just wanted to share that with both of you because I just
yeah.
loved you both because
Uh,
you're actually spreading great news to young people out there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and you are too. That is
Thank
so
you.
wonderful, that story. And it's really important because it is true, you know. Sometimes things don't work out and you look back and you
Mhm.
go, "Oh my goodness, I'm so glad that didn't happen because it led me to this opportunity." Uh,
Correct.
and it's so important to remember that there's always going to be opportunities. And that's the other thing with auditions and things that you don't get.
Exactly.
There's always going to be opportunities. And I trust that when something's right for me, it will happen. And
That's right.
that plan will happen. And, you know, the other thing though is I do let some of those rejections or things like that, I let it be kind of that fire that lights me to
That's
continue
correct.
forward. If
Uh-huh.
someone says like if someone says since I've been younger, if they say I can't do something, I go, oh well,
Uh-huh.
just watch and see.
Absolutely. I know that's right.
I'm a little, you know, determined. I'm a very, very determined, passionate person. So
Uh,
I let that I could either get down about it and let it
mhm.
take me down, or I could turn it into a fire and make me move forward and make me better.
Oh,
And yeah, so that's the
great.
other thing that I think is important to do.
Absolutely.
Great. Brandon,
Malik,
I want to hear
yeah.
Melissa. Melissa, can you do an English accent?
Well, I can. You want me to do an accent now? This is I have to say this is
Yeah, I wanted to try three different accents with you. I wanted you to give me three different, if you can,
an
or
accent.
three different voices that people might be familiar with. Even Siri, if you can do Siri's voice.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I played
Okay.
not quite a Siri voice, but in a video game I was
Hmm.
a robot.
Oh, wow.
AI
Okay.
robot. I was a broken robot. So that
You
was
can do that one even.
Yeah,
uh
let's hear. Let's hear. You give us three types. Okay.
type. So well I can talk like I'm from the South. And it depends. We could be I could have just a bit of a Southern accent.
Uh-huh.
Or I could have more of a drawn out accent, Southern accent. It depends. So
Uh-huh.
there's the Southern, I grew up in Texas, so you know, the Southern
Hmm.
accent is, you know, natural for me.
Uh,
British, I'm just thinking like this
Go
is
with your favorites. If it doesn't have to be British, you can go with something that you just,
um
whatever you're in your wheelhouse.
Hmm.
I can talk
That's correct.
well, let's see. I could be, you know, Russian.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
hello, so nice to meet you. I am Melissa. My face is, I don't even know what my face looks like. Sometimes when I do accents and acting, that's
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
my faces, my facial expressions are so funny. So
Yeah.
apologies in advance for any of that.
I thought it was great.
Great, great.
And then let's see. Oh, Robin, you know, from Robin Hood Maid Marian.
Yeah.
Oh, Robin.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, I can't think of what she says. This is the hard part when people say, you know, oh, you're a
You do
voice
it on the
actor, when
spot.
you do voices. And then all of a sudden I'm like a deer in the headlights because I can't think of like lines to say or
Oh,
anything.
that's quite all
You're
right.
fine. What
That's
was the
quite.
robot?
The
The
Yeah, I
robot,
want to hear that robot. Yeah.
oh, the robot was just like, hello there. Whoa, you know, like, or sorry, you know,
It's so
trying
interesting.
to think of what he said. There would sometimes be like, hello, I need help.
Oh, wow.
That was bad. I can normally do, I
No,
can,
no, it's good. It's good. You remind me of the robot from Love, Death, and Robots. You remind me of the robot that goes around by himself in the trash world. I'll send you the clip if
oh
you
yeah,
haven't seen
yeah,
it.
that's the Disney movie.
Oh yeah, no, there's that one, but they actually so there's that movie, and then they also made actually that is that movie. Wally, you sound like Wally.
Wally.
Yeah,
That's
Ah,
a.
yeah.
It, what I think is the whole. It's amazing how
amazing.
you can change your voices. Your hearing must be. Your brain is working in different areas. I'm thinking about people who can do sounds of animals as well. That's a whole nother genre.
It is.
Um,
Yes.
and I said, wow, because I've heard people do animal sounds and human sounds, and I'm saying, wow, that brain, that voice, that hearing, it's unique. And you've had it since you were a little kid, as you mentioned. You used to do voices as a child.
Yeah, I would, watch cartoons and I would try to make those voices. Or I remember there was the guy who used to do different sounds, like
Oh yeah,
horn.
I work with him. Winslow. His last name's Winslow. You talking about the guy from Police Academy?
Yeah, 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 him.
Yeah, I worked with him in a movie in Miami. Him and Steve Gutenberg. He's the man of 9,000 voices.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Mm.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So he did all those different things. And so I would try to do different, sounds, just,
Mhm.
horns and, a trumpet. Sometimes I drive my family crazy because I'll go, like I'm like that. And they'll go, Mom, please stop.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it's so fun. And so I saw that. And so I've been doing those and trying to imitate. And actually, just recently, I'm working on my creature demo right
Oh,
now,
amazing.
small creature demo. So
Mhm.
I've been watching nature documentaries and things like that for
Mhm.
listening to sounds and imitating and practicing. And I feel really sorry for my family to have to hear that. My kids were upstairs the other day and
Uh-huh.
I was working on my monkey sounds and
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
they came down and they're like, Mom, please stop. Like we can hear you from up there.
Yeah. Oh
You know,
my gosh.
but
Okay.
you have to practice. You can do realistic, but also in a lot of movies, you have to sound like they have emotions and a sad monkey, a happy monkey. So you have to practice all that. So it's that's a whole new genre that I'm getting into and I'm
Okay.
Mhm.
so excited for. I think it would be really fun. So
Okay.
Melissa, I think that's amazing. It's funny you mentioned that about your kids being upstairs. I always have to warn my neighbors that the police aren't there or that the because I'm like because I do a lot of this. I told you like these action roles, so I always have to tell them like, hey, like look, no one's hurt. The police aren't here or anything like that. I'm literally just doing this voice, and it's always times it's always like me yelling freeze or yelling at something. So I always have to give them that heads up, like, hey, like look, nothing's wrong.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
neighbors, I did the same thing with my neighbors. If you hear weird noises or you hear me screaming,
yeah,
Mhm.
you know, I'm good. Text me if you hear me screaming, you can text me and see, but they
yeah.
all know. And, summertime, sometimes there's windows open in our house. And if I'm practicing,
Mhm.
I got to really be aware of that because
Mhm.
I don't want to,
Scare somebody.
Have the
yeah,
police
or like,
up front.
have like the whole neighborhood hear me going, where, doing
Yeah.
them going, okay, who is that lady?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Melissa, you've been absolutely wonderful. I don't want to hold you up for too much longer, but we had a lightning round of questions that
All
we are
right.
going to ask you if that's okay. And Mom, did you have any more questions?
No, no. Let's just get the lightning round
Okay.
done
Melissa, you've been wonderful, by the
and let
way.
her go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Uh,
I feel like we could talk about this for so long,
hey,
especially
we'll have you back.
It's so
about
I
the
love
food.
the subject matter.
Yeah, it's so intriguing and so
Mhm.
interesting, and I would love to hear your perspective too. I think you need to do have you done an interview yet?
No, I haven't.
Yourself?
No, I haven't.
Oh, we should have
Why
you on
don't we
the
do that the
podcast.
next time you
Yeah, we'll
come
do
on?
that the next time, Melissa.
Yeah,
Okay.
All
I
right.
think that would be great.
So favorite. It can be either one offs or it can be a sentence or however you want to do it. Favorite voice to perform: commercial voice, character voice, or narrator voice.
character for sure.
Okay. One word to describe your personality behind the mic.
Ooh, behind the mic is happy. Happy.
Okay. Dream animated show or movie you'd love to be the to voice a character in.
Ooh, Disney, any kind of Disney. But I want to be I would love to be a Disney villain.
Oh.
Not the princess. I think a Disney villain would be
Okay.
yeah.
You got that dark siding in. All right.
But it's not like too dark, just
Okay.
fun, quirky fun.
That sounds good. All right, tea, water, or honey lemon. I can't talk. Let me say it again. Tea, water, or a honey lemon mix before recording.
Ooh, water for sure. I sometimes if I need tea, I'll have tea, but I usually just have water before and I chew gum before too.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. The voiceover artist you admire the most.
Ooh. Um, there's a lot of them I really look up to.
You can do
Tara
less if you want to.
Tara Strong, though, she has always been my favorite. She does so many characters that are my favorite. And then just recently I joined her classes
Okay.
And she's such a sweet, positive person. So, yeah, I would say Tara Strong,
And what's one voice that she might do that the audience would know?
Harley Quinn.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right.
She's Powerpuff Girls, Bubble,
Okay.
My Little Pony, Twilight,
Oh, wow.
Raven from Teen Titans Go. She has been in so many different cartoons and animation stuff. So video games
Okay.
like that.
All right. Nice. Nice. Favorite cartoon from your childhood?
Ooh, oh, I love them all. Ah, I'm just trying to think of one.
Top out
Okay,
there.
there was oh my gosh, I can't think of one right now. Why am I blanking out?
It's all good if you get.
Um, I loved, well, anything from Disney, I loved
Okay.
as a kid. Any of the Disney shows, things
All
like
right.
any of
That
those
sounds
cartoons.
okay. That sounds good. Excuse me. A phrase people love hearing you repeat because of how you say it.
Oh, um, I don't know if I've ever had that where they have me repeat it.
Okay.
Maybe. Thank you.
All right. That sounds good.
Everyone loves a good thank you.
All right. I like it. I like it. Do you prefer early morning recordings or late night recordings?
Morning for sure.
Okay. And then one fun fact people would be surprised to learn about you.
One fun fact. Um, I've been skydiving, maybe.
Okay. Oh, wow. That is amazing. Okay.
I was a motivational speaker for a little while, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. And then final thing to ask you, if you could go back and tell your 18-year-old self anything, what would it be?
Um, I would tell myself to not be so hard on myself and to stay positive and kind of like we talked about, um, things will eventually happen. Um, it takes time and just stay positive. Let it light your fire and don't let things get you down. That's what I
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Well, Melissa, I'm going to make sure that you've been absolutely wonderful, but I do want to
Yes.
make sure that we have your where people can find you. If you teach any classes, where can people find you at?
So melissamirren.com is my website. And then on socials, you can find me at Melissa Mirren, or on TikTok, it's at Melissa Mirren VO.
Okay.
And yeah, you can check that out there. I don't teach classes. That's the one thing I don't do.
Mhm.
Um, I'll give tips and things like that to people if they ask, but I don't do any teaching.
Okay.
I try to focus on the voice acting, but yeah, you can find me on those and email me if anyone has questions.
Well,
That sounds good.
Well, Melissa, I want to tell you, you have been such an inspiration
Absolutely.
today. You're fun. We've laughed, and I know our audience is going to get a kick out of this show. So I want
Yeah.
to thank you so much for coming on, and you have to come back
You do.
because I'd
Love-
love for you and Brandon for you to interview Brandon.
Oh
And then I try to interview Brandon sometimes when we're talking, but if I get so fascinated with the guests we have, as I have with you, I forget all about that process. So, with that said, thank you again for
Yes, ma'am.
coming on
yeah.
the show. I know our viewers, our
You're gonna love
young
it.
people, are going to be so excited because they're always looking at interesting people and we get such positive feedback. So, with the questions that we get from our audience, we're going to make sure that we share them with you when you come on the show again, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, I would love that.
Okay, great.
Great. And I would love to interview you, Brandon.
I will make sure it happens. I promise.
Okay.
I think it would be
All
interesting
right,
to know
Brandon, what
your
do we
story.
do now?
It'd be fun. It'd be fun. Well, Melissa, we always give everyone a round of
Yeah,
applause.
this is
Oh, thank you, thank
great.
you, thank you.
You've been fantastic. We'll
Thank
definitely have you
you.
back, Melissa. And then just send me
Wonderful.
the photo you want to use for your podcast station. I'll have it done in a couple hours.
Oh, okay. I will send that. And it was so wonderful. Thank you so much. And
Thank you. We love having you.
I'm so happy to meet you.
it's so nice to meet you too. And I loved your words of wisdom as well. So
All righty.
All
Same
right.
here.
great.
You have a
Okay.
wonderful day, Melissa.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right, let's see. I got to figure
That
out how
was
that should.
exceptional.
She was
I
absolutely
love that.
outstanding.
So
Yes, ma'am. Outstanding.
she's fun.
Yes, ma'am. She really is fun and has
She's
a bright
fun.
personality.